What's up, guys? It's Cake King, and we are back. Today we are making strawberry shortcake cheesecake cupcakes. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But it is your strawberry cupcake, but we're actually going to be stuffing it with a cheesecake filling and topping it off with some champagne buttercream as well as a little bit of strawberry puree. So let's go ahead and get started with our ingredients. So we're only going to be making one box of this for the this recipe. So it's only going to call for one box of your it's only going to call for one box of cake mix. So we're going to be using the Duncan Hines strawberry supreme cake mix today. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with our wet ingredients first. So you're going to need 1 cup of buttermilk and 1 cup of oil, of just some pure vegetable oil. All right. And then you're going to need 1 cup of water. All right. So if you guys remember this recipe, this is normally the recipe that we do for my no fail recipe, but I'm just taking it in half since I don't need the whole thing. So I'm only going to do 3 eggs this time. And remember to keep your ingredients at room temperature. So I normally start off with all of my wet ingredients first. So far we have just 3 eggs, 1 cup of buttermilk, 1 cup of oil, and then we have 1 cup of water. So that's our start of our ingredients. All right, so we're going to let all of those wet ingredients combine together just to get those good and combined. Now, there is a secret ingredient to this mixture for the strawberry, and I'm going to show you that at the end because it's one of those things that is going to be a game changer for you. All right, so now I'm going to add in 1 cup of flour to 1 cup of sugar that I've already sifted down. And I'm just going to add that to my wet mixture. Now, if you've done the no-fail recipe before, then you know that this is pretty much like a dump recipe. Basically, you can dump everything in the mixer at one time and you'll be fine. All right. So we want to get this combined. Just make sure you scrape down your bowl as you're going. All right. While that's mixing, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my strawberry cake mix, and this is just 1 box of strawberry supreme from Duncan Hines. You can use any cake mix flavor in this recipe. Basically, what the recipe does is extends out the box, but it gives you a lot more stability with this. So it's just a more stable recipe for stacking cakes, but it just extends it out some. Alright, so I have added in all of my dry and wet ingredients now. Alright. So I'm just gonna turn that up to a medium. Okay. Let that combine together. All right, so now for the part of the recipe that is going to be your game changer. All right, so I'm just going to add in just a couple of teaspoons of the Lush Berry from Portia Kimball. This is her new flavor line. I'm just going to add in just a little bit of it. You know, just because I love the way that berry flavor is in there. But my secret ingredient to all of my strawberry cakes, cheesecakes, any compound like that is going to be this strawberry compound. Listen, this stuff is like crack. It is amazing. When I say amazing, you don't have to add that much of it because it goes a long way. So what I do is I normally add a couple of tablespoons because honestly, it's just like it's your strawberry flavor, but you can turn anything strawberry with this. It's a compound just a strawberry compound. Now it is expensive. I mean, it is very expensive. And when I say like expensive, I mean like it's for the size that it is, it's kind of expensive. But it's a big old container. It's like um, 2 pounds, but I think it was like $30 or $40, and it's always hard to come by. But you can order it on Amazon. You can find it on there, and just search in for it. But it's the strawberry concentrated compound. Now they make this in different flavors. I think they have like a passion fruit and a couple of other things, and you don't have to refrigerate it. It's actually good for like an ice cream glaze, um, any type of ganache that you're making and things like that. It's just really really good. All right. So now we've let that combine, all the ingredients combine together. Turn it up all the way and bring it back down and then stop it. Alright, so now we're going to transfer this over to our cupcake tin. Alright, so now we are going to go ahead and put our mixture into our cupcake containers. Alright, so these are just your standard cupcakes, standard cupcake size. Now I always use a scoop whenever I am doing my cupcakes because they always come out the same size. So I just scoop my batter into my liners, and just keep going with it. I'm just adding all of my batter into the liners. Now I think that this tray right here holds 24. Now I think that the one box of mix will possibly make a little bit over 24. It depends on the mix. Sometimes some mixes are a little bit runnier than others. So like lemon tends to make a lot. Normally strawberry makes a little bit more than normal than using chocolate, because chocolate mixes a little bit thicker. And then some other flavors also do the same thing. Now I've already preheated my oven to 340 degrees. Your oven temperature is going to depend on your oven. Sometimes some ovens are a little bit warmer than others, so make sure that you get a oven thermometer as well and put in your oven. Like I said, I knew this was going to make a little bit over that, so I'll just use just a smaller pan, and I'll just add some more. Just make some more cupcakes out of that pan. And I'm just using the liners I got in the house because I got so many extra cupcake liners that they'll be perfect to get rid of them. All right. So this may not make all of these, but it'll make the rest of this batter up. And like I said, these are all standard size cupcakes. So just use your scoop. Get all that out, and it may make a little bit over, so we can actually see how much this recipe makes right now. This is only one box of mix. All right, so we made 24. Let's see. Let me get all over that. Scoop all over that. Perfect. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31, 30. 32 cupcakes came out of that one box mixture. So we got a 24 count pan, and then we got a 12 count pan, but we got 32 cupcakes out of it. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to bake these at 340 for 15 minutes. I usually do between 12 and 15 minutes, and you're just going to bake until it's done on the inside. But I kind of underbake them a little bit because they continue to bake when they're in the liner anyway. So just go ahead and get those put in the oven, and then we'll come back and get started on the rest. All right, what's up, guys? So we are going to make a cheesecake filling. Now, this cheesecake filling can be used in pretty much any dessert. If you're doing cheesecake cones, which we'll be doing later on in another video, or you can use it as a filling for like your cupcakes or cake or pretty much anything like that that requires just like a cheesecake filling. Now, you can also use these in shooters and dessert shooters. So I'm just going to start out with, because I'm going to be making a large batch of it and I'm going to need it for something else, I'm going to start out with just 2 packs, and I'm using the Philadelphia cream cheese. Make sure that it is slightly cool, but I normally just take it out of the refrigerator as I'm getting ready to use it. So, and I'll leave it out for just a little bit, just so it's still slightly cool, but not off at room temperature. So I'm just gonna add two blocks of it to the mixer right now. And you really only need a couple of blocks when you're first starting out. You're not, unless you're doing like a large order or something. Make sure that when you do anything with cream cheese, that you also let your customers know that it needs to be refrigerated and stay refrigerated. All right, so I'm going to just blend down my cream cheese right now to get it nice and creamy. Now, this filling is going to be kind of thick, so what I like to do is I like to add about a tablespoon of cornstarch to the mix as it's going, just to make sure that it's thickened up. So I'm just going to add in just some cornstarch. And I'm going to do about a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch to it, just to keep that mix thickened up. All right. Make sure you scrape your bowl down to get all of that mixture in there. All right. Just continue to let it go. All right. So the second part of the ingredients for this is just powdered sugar with confectionery sugar, and I'm just going to use just any brand. I got Cupcake right here, but you can use any brand. I normally keep mine in an airtight container. That way it's easier. You don't have to worry about it clumping up on you. So I'm going to add in 1 cup at a time. So I'm just going to do, and I'm going to eye this to see how much I want in here. Because normally, it just depends on how thick you want it. So I'm going to add in 1 cup first, and then I'll see about adding in the second cup, depending on how thin it looks. Let that mix, and I'm gonna add in my second cup now, and I'll let that mix up. All right. You don't want to turn it on too high because you don't want it to just blow up everywhere. Now, because this is a cheesecake filling, and I still want that cheesecake taste, I'm gonna just add in a few drops of vanilla, and I'm just doing some clear vanilla. Y'all know I talked about my Mexican vanilla, but this is just your organic, your clear Mexican vanilla, and I'm gonna add in maybe 2 teaspoons of that. We don't measure nothing; we eye everything, so. All right, so I'm gonna scrape down my bowl again and make sure I got all that in there combined. And since we are doing strawberry cheesecake, you guys remember me talking about the strawberry compound. I'm just gonna add just maybe a drop. I'm gonna say maybe about a teaspoon of that into it, because this is strawberry that we're doing. It's gonna go into the strawberry cupcakes or strawberry shortcake cones or anything like that. So I want to make sure I got just a hint of that strawberry taste going through there, and it just adds in a little punch of flavor. All right. All right, so as you can see, it is very, it's creamy. It's a very, very creamy mixture. It's a little bit soft peaks to it, so it's not really that, it's not a thick, really thick mixture. Now, just for my sanity and knowing that I'm gonna use this in multiple desserts, I'm gonna go ahead and add in 1 more cup of powdered sugar just to thicken it up just a little bit, because I need it to be a little bit more stable for what I'm going to do. Now, don't confuse this with cream cheese icing just because you're adding the powdered sugar in. This ain't cream cheese icing. This is just a short version of a cheesecake filling that you don't have to bake. All right. Now, with this going into like cupcakes and stuff, I'm going to make sure that you tell the customers that it needs to stay refrigerated, because it does have that cheesecake filling in it. All right. Perfect. All right. So that is pretty much the consistency I want this, and I'm fine with this right now. It's not runny. Now, what I'll do is I'll remove this from my bowl, and I'll go ahead and put it in a container and refrigerate it until I'm ready for it. So go ahead and make that up, add it to the refrigerator, and now you have your cheesecake filling that can be used for your cheesecake cones, the waffle cones, or you can use it as a filling for your mousse cups, cupcakes, pretty much anything. And this is just your basic cheesecake filling. All right, what's up, guys? We are now back and ready to make some buttercream. Now, for my buttercream, you really don't need a lot of ingredients. It's pretty simple. So all you're gonna need is 1 pound of unsalted butter, which is approximately 4 sticks of butter, some heavy cream, powdered sugar, and my ingredient that I like to add is some shortening. Okay, if you have high ratio shortening or anything like that, it's pretty much the same thing. It's up to you how you want to use it. All right, so the first thing we do is start out by getting our butter prepared. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add in our 4 sticks of butter and let it cream down. So I like for my butter to be room temperature, but not like warm, because you don't want it melted. You definitely don't want to be making buttercream with melted butter. All right. And make sure you get all of your butter off of here, because butter is too high right now and you don't want to leave none in the paper. You're not throwing no money away. All right, so we'll go ahead and add our butter in there. Go ahead and let it start creaming down. Now, I know buttercream is one of those things where a lot of people say it is their weak point and something that they can't seem to get the right texture or right consistency. Hopefully this video actually helps you to do that. All right? And add our butter in. Butter. Let it all cream down. Y'all know I'm big on cleaning up as you go. So please. And then I'll just turn this up down. Scrape your bowl down while it's going. Get that butter nice and creamy. While that is creaming, I'm going to go ahead and get my shortening together, because I add my shortening in with my butter. Now you can get this from Walmart, or if you have a supply store near you that sells high ratio shortening, if if you heard the high ratio, it just means it will stay in high temperatures and just hot heat, basically, and humidity. I'm here in Florida, so of course the humidity is a little bit different. So I started doing this because it made my buttercream a little bit more stable. So I'm just adding in a cup of shortening. Adding in that fat to it. So while it's now going, I'm just gonna add in 1 cup of shortening. And I'm gonna scrape down my bowl. And this is gonna help it withstand the high temperatures and humidity and everything. Go ahead and clean that together. Now, the good thing about this is you do not taste the shortening in the recipe. So you see it getting that all good and clean together. Now, I already got my powdered sugar ready to go. I keep that in a container. Sam's Club even sells them as well. And we're just combining it all those together. Alright, so in the middle of this now, I'm going to use I'm changing out my attachments. And this is very creamy. Right now, you can see that it's extremely creamy. Alright, so I'm going to switch out my attachments now to my paddle attachment because this one actually scrapes the bowl down, the side as well. It gets all of that incorporated. And I'm going to start adding in 1 cup at a time. Now, I like to eye this based on the texture and the consistency I want my buttercream. So it's going to depend on how thick or how thin you want it on how much you actually add in there, alright? So I normally start off with about 6 to 8 cups of the powdered sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and add my first 2 in. I always pretty much do it in 2s. That way it gives it time to incorporate. And that paddle attachment is just going to really blend all those ingredients together so they're not stuck to the bowl and you ain't got to keep scraping it. But I like to use the whisk in the beginning just to cream that butter and everything down. I'm going to go ahead and open up another bag of powdered sugar. Put it in my bowl. So we got that's pretty combined. And notice that I'm stopping and going with it. I'm not just letting it keep going. So I'm adding 2 more cups of powdered sugar in. So that's 4 cups right now that we're at. Make sure you don't add too much to where it starts coming out of the bowl or everywhere. You don't want it everywhere. Always make sure to keep your mixer on low as you're combining any ingredients in, whether it be flour, powdered sugar, or anything. Just keep it on low, and then you gradually turn that speed up. All right, so let's see where we're at right now. As you can see that it is very creamy so far. All right, really good consistency right now. Now I'm going to add in 2 more cups, so that's giving us a total of 6 cups. But I'm going to add this 5th one in and let it combine so it doesn't get out everywhere. And then I'll add that 6th cup in. Now in the meantime, you want to go ahead and get your heavy cream ready, because I'll add in my heavy cream about tablespoons at a time, just based on the consistency of it and how thick I want it. Now, you can use heavy cream, you can use coffee creamer, pretty much any type of creamer that will give you the flavor that you want. If you do coffee creamer, you really don't need any flavoring because it does have that flavoring in it, but I like to add my own flavoring in. So I'm gonna add in that 6 cup of, I'm gonna add that 6 cup of powdered sugar in right now. Now while that's going, I'm also gonna add in a tablespoon of heavy cream. So I'm just adding one right now because I don't want it to be too wet. I don't want the consistency of it to be, I still want it to be pipeable because we're gonna be using this in a piping bag. So go ahead, combine all of that in. All right, so for flavoring, I'm gonna add in about a half a teaspoon of the Queen Almond from Portia's Kimball's line. About a half a teaspoon, or half a tablespoon anyway. And then I'm gonna add a tablespoon of clear vanilla. And this is my Mexican vanilla again. And I do that because I still want to combine my flavors of that traditional vanilla buttercream, but I also want a hint of just that New Orleans flavor in there. And if you've been to New Orleans flavor is all about almonds, and you're giving that nut flavor in there. So I want to combine all those flavors in with my traditional buttercream flavor. So go ahead and let that combine together. Then I'm gonna go ahead, wipe down my area while that's going as well. And we just want to get it combined. What you don't want to do is you do not want to over mix your buttercream, okay? So that's going. All right. So what we have now is a very great texture. Really, really smooth. I'm gonna take this paddle off so you guys can see the texture of this. And I'm just gonna scrape my paddle down this and get all of your stuff off of here. You don't wanna leave no money. We're not throwing away nothing. Yeah, everything is high. So we want all of our profits off of that mixer. All right. So go ahead now and let you see the texture of this buttercream, because a lot of people have problems with the texture. So it's still at a nice consistency to where you can pipe it, you can spread this. It is a very smooth consistency. So you see, so making sure that butter is creamed down and combined and shortening in there, and it is very smooth. All right. So that is your basic American buttercream. All right. All right. What's up, guys? We are back. So now we're gonna go ahead and start filling our cupcakes and go ahead and adding all of the decorations and everything to them. Now I've already punched these holes in my cupcake, and I'm gonna tell you the easiest thing to use to make the holes in your cupcakes is going to be this little thing. And honestly, all it is the wine cork screw thing where you put in your wine. All I did was take it and I just punched the holes inside of the cupcake. It was perfect for this, and I don't use it for anything else, so I end up using it for this. So, all right, so let's go over the things that we need for this. I have some of these strawberry shortcake yum crumbs. All right, got those. I have some strawberry glaze. You can get this out of your produce section or anything like that. All right. I have some fresh berries that I've already got washed and cleaned. My buttercream, I just got a tip on it, and my cheesecake filling that we made. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill these with cheesecake. I just added it to a piping bag. If you don't have a piping bag, you can use a Ziploc bag or something just to put the filling in. And remember, this made 32 cupcakes. The recipe did, but I'm only using about the 24 of them. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead now and add some icing on here. And I'm gonna start from over here. And the reason why I'm going out and coming back up with this is because I'm gonna add my filling, the strawberry filling, to the middle of it. So I'm making 2 rows of it. So basically you'll see me go around just so I can have that middle layer there to put that filling in. Put some more buttercream in. All right, so again, we're making strawberry cheesecake. So I'm gonna put my fresh strawberry filling in there. And this is just that glaze what we were just talking about. That goes in the middle of that little hole there. So when you bite into this cupcake, you'll have the strawberry cheesecake filling in there, and you'll have that strawberry glaze on there. Now you can do this one of 2 ways with your crumbs. You can either sprinkle them on there, which is what I prefer doing because it doesn't make such a big mess. And I normally just put a pan under there so it catch the crumbs. You don't want to waste anything. You don't want to waste no crumbs or nothing. So put it on another sheet. Put a sheet up under there. Take it. And you'll sprinkle all the crumbs on there. Or you can coat the sides of them. If you have a round tip, you can just put the crumbs all around the side of the cupcakes. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it all around here. I'll try to make as less cleanup as possible when I do anything, so I don't have all that stuff everywhere. All right. All right, so got that out of the way. Now I'm just gonna take my fresh berries and I'm gonna just cut them in half. And I'm gonna add my berries on my cupcakes. Now I do it a couple different ways just to see what I like. But I typically like to put them to the side so you can still see that filling in there. That filling popping out of there. You want to make sure that your berries are clean and washed really well. leaf out the way. All right, they got that. And we got two more cupcakes. And I'm gonna move that to the side. All right, so there are our strawberry cheesecake cupcakes. Really, really easy recipe to bring this around so you can see. Gives it a really gourmet look as well. All right, and there we go.